Going live. Okay, we are live as usual. Let me. This really needs a bit of practice. So I just realized that I'm really not that good with video and streaming.
Talk show. This is a talk show.
We really need some professional help. Sometime down the line. Yeah. Okay, but we are live, and yeah, we are good to go.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Okay, for those who just tuned in, welcome back to this week of business Kopi chit chat session. Yeah. So, in case some of you are following us, this whole entire weekly sharing is targeted to SME business owner, in fact, any business owner. Okay, so that we can learn from each other. We can also take the opportunity to understand some controversial topics surrounding every week in the area of business, finance, economics, and anything that's in relation to business. So today we will start another round of sharing.
I thought probably this week we want to do something a bit more structured, which is why I was asking if you could share some insights and probably some general advice on how to prepare a presentation deck for businesses that are interested in seeking funding. Doesn't have to be VC funding, could be private equity funding, could be in friendly angel investment funding from friends and associates and so on. But I think because I understand that you have been conducting classes, workshops, and coaching businesses, startup, and some students on how to craft such a thing. So you probably have some insights that you can share with us. And I think one of the, maybe it's just me because I'm not very familiar with this topic, but I somehow get this idea that, there are, when people talk about getting funding or investment or support from investors, right? It is always being spoken from the perspective of getting VC funding, right? Getting equity funding. And there seems to be a very opaque process about it. There seems to be a lot of layers and gatekeeping, if you will, about it. On the other hand, I'm also quite sure that those kind of very structured VC funding may not be for every business. A majority of business owners could be simply seeking very simple funding structures to help them with the next round of expansion in their business or to do some product development. And it isn't something that is earth-shaking or world-changing. So maybe it doesn't go to the level of the typical VC funding structure and equity funding structure there. But for such cases, right? Again, because most Asian SMEs do not have that kind of experience with asking people for money. Probably again, it's an Asian cultural thing. It seems that asking people for money is something that is not something that is probably inherent in our culture, right? So probably a lot of them doesn't know how to structure it in a way that it is a form of marketing. So I think that's the headspace I'm coming from, right? To see if you have any advice for business owners, startups, SMEs, right, that are looking at simple, uncomplicated funding mechanism or funding arrangements, but they don't know where to start, what to say, or what information they should prepare in a deck or some sort of document that they can share with people who might be who are in a position to financially support them.
Well, okay, first thing first, I think I do agree that it's not inherent in Asian business mindset that we go and ask for money from a stranger, okay, other than a bank, which is quite a normal route of funding. Asking for private investors, asking for venture capitalists, okay, which are really professional investors, or even any one of us, okay, who are interested to probably invest in their business, asking for money it's not commonplace among Asians, and that's the reason why over the last few years in China, people are starting to, a lot of businesses are starting to adapt to this VC funding mentality. Once they feel that their business is good, and maybe their private bankers or maybe some of their friends, okay, would recommend them to seek funding from VCs. And there's a lot of VCs out in China. And I think the most prominent example of being a VC funded company is Alibaba. And that's why everybody start to actually look into, hey, how can I become big by using VC money? Okay, and I try not to borrow from bank. I try not to borrow from my own savings, stuff like this. Well, which is true. I think nowadays, most people are actually quite receptive to using other people's money for expansion. Okay, be it I want to set up a new factory, I want to set up a new distribution line. I think this is pretty much accepted, because the last few years since 2014, 2015, and maybe even earlier, we have seen successful startup have raised enough money to become very big, like Grab, like Deliveroo, and all other company that probably you heard of, like Ninja Van, that use VC fundings to expand their operation. Okay, now there are some structured way. There are also some unstructured way in terms of seeking private funding. Okay, of course, the structured way will be going through this introduction to different VC company, different private investors, and also even family officers, okay, who are interested to invest small little portion of money into some promising enterprise. Now that's probably a structured way. But for the unstructured way, is what we call as private placement. It could be any one of us who are being thrown this opportunity for us to look into some businesses, and from then we decide whether we want to be one of the shareholders, and therefore shareholder agreement will have to be drafted up. Then all other legalized procedure will have to take into consideration. Now, interestingly, when you talk about this topic, I just received a business proposal from someone, okay, to look for investors into their business, okay, and if anybody interested, they don't mind selling their business to a new business owner, which is common. Okay, just that if you're not exposed to some of these private placement deals, you may not know that there's quite a number, in fact, quite many around. Okay. Now, in terms of the pitch deck itself, we do see different format. Some came in a really a typical shorter version of a business proposal, meaning a business proposal can be quite thick, right? Normally they have executive summary, you have market outlook, you have market potential, competitor analysis, SWOT analysis, you have all your marketing plan, financial plan, projection. All this can be quite complicated to SMEs. Okay, for those bigger boys, I think they can get some help to get this business proposal drafted in a very professional way. But for smaller boys, they will not have this financial capability to get somebody to join very nicely for them. Okay, and hopefully their accountants can help them with all the numbers. But sometimes the accountants only deal with numbers, but they are not so much into the marketing of the business plan. So it takes a little bit of marketing flair for somebody who able to put together all the nitty-gritty of the business in a very brief manner, so that it's become almost like a marketing brochure to any prospective business owner or investor to consider either buy them out, the business owner out, or the investor become a minor shareholder to the business. To let's get big together. You know what I mean? So there's a couple of elements usually most proposal should contain. Okay, should contain. And in fact, there are probably 9 of them. Okay, some people may have more, some people have less, but I think generally these 9 points will be well, I would say good enough for a time being, because first of all, you need to let people interested about you first before you go to the next step, right? Correct? Just a proposal, you need to have enough information for person to whoever seeing the business, the marketing brochures, interested to actually talk to you, right? Or give a call. Hey, I'm interested in this product. I'm interested in this service. Okay, can I actually meet up with you to find out more? Correct? So we need that spark of interest. And these are the 9 points that I strongly advocate anyone who are considering doing any kind of business proposal for investors, for selling their business. I think these are probably the 9 points that I will always try to encourage anybody to actually add into their whatever business proposal. The first thing is what is the problem you're solving? Are you solving any problem? Okay, of course, in a traditional business, a lot of them will have challenged even starting to answer this question. Correct? If I'm selling tau sa pia, what problem am I solving? Correct? Precisely. Okay, how to write this thing? So obviously, this thing is probably can be a challenge. First question. So it's okay. Just write about your history, how you come about. Okay, how you come about? Oh, maybe in the past, okay, this akong of mine, okay, was having a push cart selling kopi. So because of the special formula, the kopi become famous. So the kopi push cart become a kopi tiam, become a kopi store. They become a kopitiam, right? So there are people come, and this is a story of maybe ABC Kopitiam Private Limited. Okay, what? You don't exactly need to solve a problem, right? Okay. So first thing, if you are a startup, okay, my favorite first question to all startup will be what is the problem you're solving? Okay, if you're able to define the problem very clearly, crystal clear, at least I'm on the same page right from the start with you. Correct? Second, how big is this problem, which is what we call as market potential. Okay, market potential. You're solving some boys very nitty, small little problem, right? Okay, I don't think any investors or even any buyer will be interested, right? Don't you think so? So the market must be, the problem must be big enough to have a substantial market potential. So the second thing I'm looking for is market potential. So there's a lot of ways you can crop out your market potential. There's something called total accessible market size, then serviceable accessible market size. All these things, these are very technical. But at the end of the day, the gist of it is I want to know how big is your customer base or potential customer base? Okay, if I selling char kway teow, okay, I want to sell my char kway teow secret formula. How big is my customer base? How right now? Okay, wow, every day I can sell 2,000 plate of char kway teow because of this very special formula that I cook, and therefore my char kway teow every day, 365 days, guaranteed 2,000 plates. Guaranteed. Okay, then there's something to look into. Understand? So market potential. Third is, who are your competitors? The market is very big. Definitely there must be competitors. Unless, okay, you tell me there's no, it's a very novelty thing, that okay, something out of the universe, nobody thought of it, nobody have actually seen it before. Okay, there's no competition, maybe. But do you think that the question in the investor mind will be if there's no market, if there's no competitors, how about indirect competitors? Any substitute of your this particular product or services? Okay, let me share with you an example. Let's say, for example, Grab or Grab, yeah, Grab car, right? Okay, so who are the direct competitors? Obviously, will be the taxi company. But how about the indirect competitors? People who may not frequently use a car, not to talk about driving a car, use a car. So they'll be probably using public transport, right? So in busy time, obviously, your direct or almost indirect competitors will be your public transport, because I don't want to pay $30 after I saw what is the price to go back home. Correct? I will not choose you, and therefore I'm going to choose my public transport. And that is where, when we talk about competition, it's not just about your direct competitors, it's also your indirect competitors. Who are the substitute to your business? I want to know. Have you identified it? If you're not, I'll be very scared to come in as an investor. You know why? I don't know you know the business well now. Okay, I don't want to come in with a rude shot. Seriously, as an investor. So that's the third thing, competition. Fourth, your solution. Okay, what exactly are you making? Is it an app? Is it a product? Is it a service? What exactly? So what exactly are you trying to create to fulfill or solve the problem? What is it? You're doing an app? Or is it a service or product? What exactly? Can you tell me what is it? Okay. Then the fifth item will be, okay, how do you intend to bring it to the market? Or what we call as GTM, go to market strategy. It is very common in a business proposal. You need to show us how do you want to market your product, or how do you intend to market the product or services, your go-to-market strategy. Okay, are you using digital marketing? Are you using events? Are you using influencer? Are you using working partners? Okay, for example, let's say I develop a new prawn crackers. Okay, this interesting prawn cracker. We use 100% prawns. We use 100% lobster. Then make into this so tasty cracker. Okay, I'm going to share with NTUC, share with Sing-Song, share with Cold Storage. I'm going to place in all their shelf. Also working with 7-Eleven, okay, to place my special crackers into their shelf on the eye level, because they promise over the next 1 month they're able to put my products, my prawn cracker, in the most prominent location in the place. I need to tell this to the investors. Am I right? Else the investor will not have confidence in investing in me. Knowing that I've secured a working partnership with somebody, have a very big, strong background, don't you think that it increase the credibility of what you're doing? as well as you are also almost giving a guarantee, okay, quote and unquote, guarantee of success to the new investors or even new business owner. Don't you think so? If I'm running a preschool business, I managed to secure maybe some of the satellite cities key areas, okay, and I also already undergo renovation, and I'm working together with some of the neighborhoods, okay, RC or CC, okay, in terms of getting this going. Do you think that your new business owner will be more confident in putting money with you or even buy over your business? Okay, so that's the fifth item. Okay, so I repeat in case you lost me. Okay, what's the problem you're solving? What's the market potential? What is your competition? Okay, what is your solution to the problem, to the first questions? Okay, what is the go-to-market strategy, your marketing plan? Okay, you can create the best product in the world, but you don't market the product or service, nobody know you, nobody buy from you. Correct? Am I? It's pretty straightforward at this fighting. Okay, then after which, okay, I also want to understand that what is your business model. Now, how different is the solution from the business owner, from the business model? Now, I can develop an app, but within this app, I create a business model whereby it granted me getting customer continue to use my app, okay, and get themselves engaged in the solution. That is what I call business model. Okay, is there something that can retain or sustain the interest level of the people who need your solution to solve the problem you're solving for them? Understand? The business model. Okay, the business model. So it will be good to share with us what's your business model. But of course, I'm not going to ask you about nitty-gritty. It could be a trade secret. Okay, it could be a trade secret. I don't need to know everything, but you give me a teaser, just a teaser. Okay, your business model. And after knowing your business model, I want to know, okay, so this thing so big and so fantastic, so great that you are creating. Who are your team members that you are leveraging on? Okay. Oh, I'm getting the former Microsoft CTO to build this app. I'm getting the former Grab CMO to help me to market this across the channel. I'm getting former maybe Standard Chartered CFO to become a CFO. Wow, powerful. Wow, interesting. Okay, your team member have credential. Okay, I'm interested because at least right now I know who I'm dealing with. I said, what's the background? What's the credential they have? Okay, of course, I'm not expecting everyone to have some A team in a business, but at least you must share with me as an investor or as a business owner to go and buy you out. How credible, okay, is this business or how sustainable is this business after I take over or after I come in? If I take over, the whole team run out of the, vanish into thin air, do you think that the new business owner will not be able to handle because I may not know your business? Okay, I may not know how you function, how you get your business success. So I'll be worried if I don't have a credible team knowing that you have a credible team that I can come in to grant it my interest, because always my interest at stake first. Okay, so the team. Next, we want to talk about what is your projection? What's your milestone? Okay, we have covered this is my number 8 already. Okay, so after the 5, I repeat again: problem, market potential, competition, solution, business model. Right now, we talk about team. Okay, your team. Right now, okay, sorry, I lost count. Okay, okay. Your business model, just the go to market. Sorry, the go to market. Then your business model. Then your team. Right now we talk about okay, number 8, which is what's the projection? What's the milestone? What's the metrics that are you going to share with me? Okay, over the next 3 years, 5 years. I'm not interested in looking at anything further than that. Okay, if you can actually give me enough information for next 3 to 5 years, that I think to build my confidence, I think I'm okay with it. Okay, the next 3 years, okay, what are you intend to do? Or 5 years intend to do? Oh, I'm going to go to China market. Okay, good. How? Okay, how? Okay. Oh, then how much customer are you aiming? Oh, I'm going to open a branch in Tampines. I'm going to open another branch in this Jurong West. Okay, so all my fried rice, I 20 over outlets around Singapore. So right now I'm able to secure a very big crowd, and my turnover on a monthly basis is X amount. Okay, so over time I'm going to open the 22nd branch in outlet in maybe JB. Who knows? Correct? Okay. Then after that, my 26th, 27th branch could be in KL or Jakarta. Milestones. Okay, milestone. And what are you measuring? How many customers are we expecting to have, or how many users of your app are we expecting to have? Okay, over the next 3 or maybe 1, 3, and 5 years. Okay, so that's number 8. Sorry, number 8. Okay, the last one I think is it's called us, okay, or what I call resources. Okay, maybe at this point of time, okay, in the marketing world, we call it the call to action, okay, or CTA for short. Okay, it's called that. Now that you know about my 8 different points, okay, so what are we looking for? Okay, you give me the business proposal. I also want to know what are you trying to ask from me, right? Else, why are you giving me this business proposal for what? Okay, what's the reason? Okay, it's good for me to have to know your business. So, what are you asking for me? Oh, okay. I'm asking for injection of $2 million USD. Okay, so that we can set up a factory. Okay, in maybe in Woodland. Okay, for increased production of 1 million units for 2022 and 2023. Oh, okay. So you need injection of 2 million lah. Okay. Then Ken, if I'm interested, let's negotiate on the terms. What can you give me back in return for my $2 million injection, capital injection? Same thing. Bank will also ask, okay, how much loan you want? After telling me all the grandfather story of your 8 points. Okay, so how much you want? And from there, then that lead to the next step. Okay, how much collateral you want to actually give to me? How much equity you want to give to me? How much stake, okay, will I have? So that actually generally conclude the 9 main points. However, of course, there are other things. Remember, do you notice that financial statement was left out? So if you have the financial statement, okay, which is quite sensitive information there, I will urge, don't give this on the first attempt. Don't show your cards one shot lah. Okay, let the person interested first. Just like courtship, marriage. Okay, you don't propose okay. You don't propose on marriage okay, right at the start of the date, right? So you need to get to know each other, understand what is the value system this new investor coming in can gel, cannot gel, no. Okay, you also don't want this person become a stumbling block in terms of your management decision, right? Correct. If this person come in $1 million and you give him 10% shareholding, and this person is given a board seat in the management team. Now, depend on how it's structured. Okay, sometimes it can be a stumbling block. Okay, to the entire business decision making. So sometimes you also want to have a little bit of courtship with the investor, right? Yeah. So this is some of the things that I will urge everybody to really prepare Okay, anytime, whether you're running a big business or small business, I think anytime it will be still good to have a business pitch deck, because you want to show to your potential customer. Okay, you want to show to your potential business partner, new partner, okay, or new investors, or maybe anybody who are interested to be your key partners or key employees. It will be good to have something like an intro deck. Of course, please don't need to show all your cards. Okay, I think in business we are long enough. Don't need to do a show hand. Correct? Don't need to do show hand. So it's a courtship thing. So once you have this thing done, you improve along the way. Get it done reasonably. I don't need you to come up with a typical beautified marketing proposal and go around sharing it with everyone. I mean, if you have the time, you have the resources to build a good corporate profile as a form of company branding exercise, I think that's okay. That's good. But for some of us who are small business owner, who are reasonably doing okay, and maybe once a while we meet up some challenges and we want some mentor, some maybe financial help, investors or inject new capital as business partner. Okay, maybe it's good to actually show some things professionally, okay, to these people. I mean, website I can read, but the thing is a website, you also don't want to show everything on your website, right? Yeah.
So for what you just mentioned, right? Typically for, we don't talk about those world-changing kind of app or systems like Grab and things like that, but just, like what you mentioned, just for a startup business or a small business, small little boutique shop, or some small little company, if you will, right? Based on the points that you just mentioned, typically a simple pitch deck or simple, profile deck, whatever you call it, right? How many pages or how many slides are we looking at?
In terms of, okay, if I use PowerPoint, okay, or Google Sheet, Google Slides, you're building, right? I think within 15 pages to max 20 pages, I think that is actually quite sufficient. Anything more than 20, you better have a lot of things to say lah. Okay, actually 10 to 15 is sufficient. I mean, keep it concise, and that is where I will urge try to use infographic to help you to condense a lot of information into one page. For example, market potential. I mean, I can share with you this industry market potential, all this SWOT analysis I've done, all this type of thing. Don't need, okay, you can compress into one single page. So within one shot, I understand, okay, you have done your research. Okay, this is the number we're looking at. This is the target you're actually trying to capture. Okay, fair, good. Then let's move on. 10, 15 page, I think reasonably sufficient. If you still need some more, don't go beyond 20 page.
Because just now in some of the points that you mentioned, right, probably is more relevant for a business that has been going on for a while with some results and track records to show. But what if, if you're a startup or you're having this new business idea, so it's something totally new, or it's something very, very new at the infancy stage where there isn't a track record or there isn't any business proof per se to speak of, right? Then how would the structure of the pitch, or how would the angle shift in that sense then?
Okay, good. This is a great question. In fact, right, okay, whether you're a startup or any business, right, you must choose one of the direction of your pitch. Okay, generally there are 4 directions, okay, based on my observation, based on my experience. One, the first direction that you can choose to pitch, whether you're a new business or an old business, doesn't matter. The first direction is your technology, your proprietary technology. Let's say I develop a SaaS solution, okay, maybe for HR operation. Okay, and right now the whole world, okay, is a mess. Using my SaaS solution, you don't need to have a in-premises equipment. Okay, you just sign up onto my this online solution. Okay, then depend on the size of the company, you can upgrade accordingly. Oh, okay, this is your proprietary technology, so you can go ahead with this direction. Oh, so far my competitors only do maybe 80%. Are able to actually achieve slightly more for my competitors. So technology direction. Second will be your team. Okay, let's say just now I mentioned I got the Microsoft CTO. I have the Standard Chartered CFO. I also have probably whoever. The A team approach. While I personally think it's not effective. Okay, apparently there are some businesses use this direction to sell their business model or their business startup. That I gather a group of big boys, okay, ex-big boy, and all the ex-big boy have saw some issues, and we came together to come up with this solution that the world don't have. Well, you can pitch on that. It's really up to you. Okay. The next one I will talk about this beside technology, beside team. I think we talk about okay, I just suddenly lost the chain of thought. Okay, yeah. Suddenly I chain of thought. Okay, lost the chain of thought. Is your how effective, okay, something that different from the technology direction is your business model. How interesting is your business model? Okay, for example, let's say I use a certain business model setup to rapidly acquire customer or acquire user. Okay, while we can say there's some blend between technology, because some SaaS solution use the technological approach to create a particular business model to attract more clients, more user. Okay, well, I would say it can be separate. It can be separate. Okay, for example, I will not name companies. Okay, this particular SaaS company, besides is a SaaS model, which is light in implementation, it also have an affiliate marketing model behind. And that is the reason why within just a span of 2 years, they ramp up their user, or rather their affiliate marketing, their go-to-market strategy was pretty fast. Okay, so can you understand? The one is on technology, one is actually the business model per se. Okay, then we also talk about this A-team, right? Okay, the last one, okay, probably let me try to recall the last one. There are actually 4 different directions. I think probably the last one was not very commonly used. That's the reason why I sort of actually forgot how but generally there are 4 directions whereby you can use in terms of your pitch deck. Yeah, but of course most people will leverage on the technology portion. I would dare to say.
Yeah, but if your business has nothing to do with technology, then that's out already, right?
Then that'll be our business model. Oh yeah, sorry. The 4th one I remember. Your track record. Traction, the word traction. So take for example, I have, let's say I have, this is my history. I have many long-serving customer. Okay, so I can sell the credibility by this database that I actually acquired over the years of operation. So meaning to say, when you come in as an investor or as my shareholder, you know that this is a sustainable business. It's not a fly-by-night business. Okay, for example, that's ABC company. Okay, maybe I talk about something very close to the recent events. I think there is this bakery shop, very traditional bakery shop in, I think, Tiong Bahru or something like that. Okay, they are closing down, and everybody rushes to buy their, I think, their traditional bakery stuff. My take, if any investor out there, you can try to actually buy the brand itself. The brand is worth money. It's, if I don't know, it's over 100 years old. Yeah, I think it's a very pity such an old brand name gone down in history. Okay, I think there have been stories in the corporate world many years, textbook example as well, whereby new business owner invest or buy over an existing business, okay, because of branding. Then they revamp it because the existing business owner, okay, may not be effective in running the business. A very simple example is McDonald's. McDonald's was set up by two brothers. They don't intend to expand beyond their states. So what happened is the offhand I can't remember the person who actually bought that model. So
Ray Kroc.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he brought the model, okay, brought the whole entire system, okay, buy the brothers out, went global. Of course, first of all, it went national first, okay, because it's a new concept, okay, whereby you can operationalize the production based on a standard, based on a standard timing, standard quality. Everything is controlled like a production line. So by the time you reach the end of the line, the burger is made exactly the same. The last 100 customers have eaten. The next 100 people are also probably buying those as well. And the drinks, everything, all in what I call standardized package. And with that, right, it's very easy for the business to scale up to anywhere in the world. And that's where, you see, this is a typical example whereby the brothers, the original founders, do not want to expand. And of course, the new business owner will buy out and expand. So the attraction is a selling point. Okay, so beside technology, beside your business model, beside your A team, okay, is your attraction.
Yeah, okay, but based on the 4 points that you mentioned, right, it sounds like if today someone, you know, could be young, could be old, but maybe this person wasn't an entrepreneur to begin with, you know, came from corporate or got retrenched or whatever the reason, have an idea, have a new business idea, right? Based on what you shared, it seems that it's then people who don't have those points that you mentioned. I mean, if it's not a technology business, if there's no traction, it's something new, it's something in at a startup infancy phase, right? Or the person, you know, starting it may not have entrepreneurial experience, probably just came out from corporate, probably just got retrenched. Does that put them in a disadvantage? It sounds like they are then being in a disadvantage to try and convince potential investors to put in money. In such a situation, is there a workaround for it? Are there ways that they can circumvent, you know, to actually still be able to try and you know, appeal to some investors?
Yes, in fact, in fact, there's hope for new startup, I call it the newbies entrepreneurs. Okay, whereby I have no track. I was corporate for 30-40 years. There, I just happened out of my employment, voluntary or non-voluntary. Okay, I will not use this word retrenchment. Okay, you can. Okay, first of all, if you have some credential to back you up, you can still use that even though you are not an entrepreneur at all. Okay, maybe I just might mention like the A team example. Maybe I've spent 15 years with the China market, exploring the oil and gas industry. Right now, I create something that meant for this oil and gas industry. It's very new. I think I'm confident to bring it into the market, which led me to this example, which Channel News Asia over the last 2 weeks have been showcased. It's called Eco Art. Yeah, the company is called Eco Art. Yeah, I think Eco Art, if I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay, if I remember correctly, yeah, sorry, yeah, okay, getting old, dementia. Okay, Eco Art. So what happened? This 60 years old marine engineer, okay, he don't want to retire. He want to create a sustainable fishing farm, okay, to supply local fishes to the local market. So he created this fishing farm that filter seawater into his containers fish farm. So the water quality is controlled. Once you control the water quality, you control the the wellness, okay, the wellness of the fish you rear, okay, you breed. Okay, so what happens with that controlled environment, you breed very high quality, very low, very low chemical injection. You know, sometimes when want to actually get an animal immune, we also pump vaccination, right? Okay, but this vaccination not like your COVID vaccination. You take 3 jabs. Sometimes you have to do it on a regular basis. Okay, you throw into the food or that. So it may not be healthy. Okay, because we don't know at the end of the day whether this thing which is good for the fish will it be good to human or not. Correct? Eventually, because it only time will tell. Okay, so what happens is this Eco Art, they actually kept the fish in a controlled manner. They control the water quality. They actually make sure the fishes are well, and with that, they have their own transportation. Quickly bring the harvest fish quickly to their delivery to this the pier. Okay, and quickly they send to the local restaurants. So they make the whole entire supply chain as short as possible. So to minimize any in-between problem area in the logistic chain. You know, for those of us who are familiar with logistics, the more chain, the more the problem. Okay, it's not about cost. Cost, yes, but you also inject problem in between. So that's why
more points of failure, like
yes, more point of precisely more point of failure. So what happened? He actually create this thing. So coming back, he has a background of marine engineer. He had not done any business at all. Okay, the interesting thing is he gotten the support of our Singapore government, okay, to do this thing, and of course, okay, he also designed some of this thing, and given his experience, people are confident that he actually brought this thing, he actually created this thing. And interestingly, on land, Singapore, okay, he actually have a shop selling all these fish produce, this fish. Okay, you can go directly, okay, to actually buy direct. So the price is quite competitive. So it's not more expensive than any other anybody. It's actually quite competitive. Maybe the next week we talk about his where's the address. Then we can go and buy fish, fresh fish or more, local fish or more. Okay, so coming back, that is a story that you can leverage on if you have some prior experience. You need not come in business at all, but you're confident to build the business. Now coming back, I don't have traction, right? I mean traction in terms of business traction. So for some of the startup, they probably build interesting, sizable clientele base or customer base, or what you can call user base, depending on what sort of things they are using. So they're able to build a sizable user base within a period of time, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Their minimum viable product, MVP, are able to actually already able to help somebody in the first prototype or second prototype or even third version. So they just need injection of more money to create the 4th prototype, or maybe go and expand into another market, or probably set up a production line to be more professionally done. All these things, whatever the reason, they can still create this pitch deck and pitch to investor. Now, in investment, there are a number of stages in terms of funding. The very first level, okay, although a lot of us know it as the the seed level. Seed means seeding, you know, the seed, the plant seeds. Okay, seed level. Before this level, there's actually another level, even prior to this. It's called the triple F level. F, F, and F. Okay. Now, as a joke, I always call fools, and fools. So the first round of funding, you get the fools to come in to invest in your business. Now, actually, well, it as a joke, the 3F stand for family, friends, and founders. So you use your own money, you ask family for finance, and probably you ask your friends to support you. That's the right reason why called triple F round. The triple F round, founders, family, friends. Okay, you can have that as a what called as a starting capital or seed capital. Then after this level, there's this already the seed level. This seed level can be strangers, and that's where your pitch deck comes in. You can pitch to any private investors who have probably maybe 50,000, 100,000, half a million. Okay, they want to actually invest in you. Okay, and over here, first of all, at this level, most of investors at this level will be looking at how confident you are setting up this business as a founder. Who are you bringing on board as an advisor? Who are you bringing on board as the founding team? Okay, what sort of credibility, what sort of experience they are, how confident you are to actually bring this business to the next level. So what I'm actually investing is in your confidence. In your confidence, my faith in your ability to bring the business from 0 to 1. Or maybe 0.5 lah. May not be 1, but 0.5. Okay, I'm invested. So basically, you may not have a marketable product yet, but at least you're doing something to convince me that there is a potential, because you are crystal clear with your market potential. You're super clear with the problem you're solving. You're super clear your solution, which gap are you fulfilling for your solution. You're super clear with your competitors' weakness, okay, and strength. Okay, you do not need to say they are not good. You just need to tell the world where are you better than them. Your USP, your unique selling proposition. You just need to tell me that. You don't need to bash your competitors. There's no need to bash your competitors. So once I have a buy-in of your confidence level, this mission, very passionate mission you want to resolve. Yes, it's possible that you can secure funding from strangers as the seed round investors. It is very, very possible.
And usually, right, for seed round investors, right, typically what kind of exit strategy they are looking at when they are going into this kind of investment?
The exit strategy on your side or on my side?
I mean, typically, right, because you talk about call to action, right? So obviously for a business, when they ask for funding, they need to have some offer and things like that. So just trying to understand from, if there's any relevance to share, from the mindset of let's say a typical seed investor, right? Because obviously, even if it's a seed funding, there's a higher risk, right? But being a seed investor means that they are at the earlier stage, which means they typically get out the fastest and they get out the earliest. So my question is, from the perspective of, let's say, what kind of exit or at which stage do a seed investor typically look at? Okay, this is where, from here onwards is depending on whether we want to let go or continue.
Okay, for seed investors, depend on seed investors. Okay, obviously, some of them willing to actually go all the way to IPO stage, like Grab, all the way, a seed investor all the way to the IPO stage. Okay, go through many rounds of funding, and obviously every round of funding, the seed investor benefit the most, because he came in, he took on the highest risk. because the business was not there in the first place. Okay, so he took the biggest risk, and obviously, risk and reward are hand in hand. So he will get the biggest reward. Now, some investor only want to do seed round, or probably up to maybe A round, or probably up to B round, because most seed investors are probably what I observe. Most of them, I do see they exit in the B round. Okay, Series B. Why? Why is because when it comes to Series A, while they already have this new business already have some traction, already have some records. Okay, the investors they are still hunting for more investors and for them to move to from A to B, which is from B. That's where your product is actually a real marketable product. There's sustainable sales. There's sustainable people using your this product. They already have some. Well, I cannot say there may be profit. Okay, so like Grab, until IPO, there's still no profit. Okay, okay, but
that business sidetrack, that business will never be profitable.
Okay,
that is a no hope business lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where was I? Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to Series B, okay, you already have some sizable cash flow. Okay, sizable cash flow. The business is actually doing reasonably okay. Okay, you have a turnover probably annual turnover of probably 5 to 10 mil. Okay, 5 to 10 mil. 5 to 10 mil. Whether you want to measure with Sing dollar or USD, I leave it to you. But 5 mil, that's the number. Okay, or even bigger. Okay, so you already consider established SME, correct? By the time Series B, you consider established SME. Your turnover is more than 1 mil already. Okay, it is sustainable on the 5 mil level. Okay, that's quite sizable. So, and therefore, seed investor will wait for the opportunity to exit, because the new investor have confidence that this thing is sustainable, have confidence that this is a business that can carry on into 20 mil level and beyond. From 5 to 10, it's definitely possible to move to 15 to 20 mil. Correct? It's just a matter of how you improve your system, how do you improve the business model, and maybe expand to more markets. This for Series B is all about getting bigger. So that's why I don't see many seed investors exit at Series A. They are looking at Series B level. Okay, Series A will come. There will definitely be investors who are less more risk adverse. Less risk averse to come in at Series A compared to the seed level. Seed level is really like in Chinese game, right? Is 波大小. I don't know whether can you grow, but I just enough money to just throw and see whether you can move to next level or not. Okay, 波大小. Okay. Well, so seed and A level and Series A, the business is still quite unstable. Okay, and that's the reason why seed investors that come in, they will wait for a while to go. When come to a Series B, then they will exit. That's my observation. Okay, my experience and other people's experience may be different. Okay.
Okay, that's actually quite insightful. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, as the business grow, your pitch deck have to change.
Yeah.
And your direction have to change. Right now, it's no longer talk about your A team. You can use the A team to start off your pitch. Okay, fair enough. But it will be less effective as you move up the different level based on my own experience all the way to B. Because at the end of the day, I'm interested in the business. Okay, yes, you could have a interesting CTO, you get an interesting CMO to break the market into maybe ASEAN or China or anywhere in the world. Okay, yeah, but I'm more interested in the business, whether can run or not. Am I right? Okay, you'll have a star player, but if the star player gone and your business collapse, then I'll also be very fearful.
Okay, yeah, understand.
Oh, so I mean, these are some of the interesting things in the investment world, and I think business buying and selling is not new. Okay, it just happened the last few years, or in fact the last 7-8 years, we are immersed into this startup startup hype because of Grab, Uber, who else? Carousel, Ninja Van, all these prominent SME, prominent startups. Okay, that's why a lot of people jump
All
into
losing money. All losing.
Okay, I'll keep my comment. I reserve my comment on that. Okay. At the end of the day is okay. At the end of the day, one thing I want to actually to add on this thing. Okay, it's not so much on the profitability. Okay. Something I need to actually cautious anybody who listen in to this segment itself is it's not about profit. It's about cash flow.
Yes, of course, but
I mean, as an investor, no. Okay, I want to qualify that. Okay, as an investor, okay, this is something that a lot of people cannot overcome. Okay, when I invest in a business, obviously I want to make money. I need to make money from dividends, make money from profits, make money from from the disbursement of dividends, right? Okay, dividends. Yeah. However, in my years of in this VC startup industry, apparently this is something that not focused on. It's all about cash flow, whether you can generate the business fast and big enough, okay, to run to the next round.
Okay. Yeah, okay. To a certain degree, I agree with you that the bloodline of any business is cash flow. Profitability means squat if you have negative cash flow. That much is true. I think that there is some disconnect. Because when we talk about business, in accounting terms, business is considered a going concern, which means it is the moment a business is started, it's expected to live on forever. Yes. So if it lives on forever, technically, as long as you are generating positive cash flow, okay, as long as you have cash flow coming in, your liabilities can be pushed back infinitely. Yep. So that's why we talk about investment in VC. I understand why there isn't a big emphasis on profitability. It's more about growing. It's more about expanding the income stream, right? In that sense, yes, I perfectly understand, right? My point being, to put it, that's a nice way of saying it, but to put it bluntly, right, when you talk about VC funding, you talk about all this, right, where you overemphasize cash flow, where you overemphasize the current liquidity of a business and not take into account whether the business has any potential in turning a profit or not, you are really just playing in a greater fool's game. There's nothing deeper than that. You are really playing a greater fool game where you are expecting that, whether is it speculation, whether is it projection, someone down the line later than you thinks that this company or this investment has a bigger value and buys you off it. It's as simple as that. There's nothing deep. There's no deeper meaning into it. That's how cryptocurrency like Bitcoin goes until 40,000. There's no intrinsic value to that asset other than the fact that you are hoping that another fool comes along and buy it at a higher price than you. It's the same. It's the same with any VC or investor, right? When you look at only the expansion, the growth, and the cash flow without thinking about the potential profitability.
Well, one of my friend actually highlights something that I think I have to agree. Okay, his VC we cannot name. It's almost like you're investing in a Rolex watch. Okay, of course you need to do your research in which model has the potential of appreciation. So just like last year, okay, one particular model of Rolex was speculated in the secondary market. Okay, to a price ridiculously high compared to the original. As in the original price. Okay, meaning to say if I would go to a secondary market to buy this model, right, it probably cost me double of if I were to go to Rolex watch directly to buy the model. You know what I mean? So it's a speculation thing.
I understand. Yeah. But I don't agree with the analogy simply because, right, you talk about Rolex watch, right? Okay, it's for lack of a better term, it's a unique asset. Okay, it's a unique asset. It's a non-replaceable asset. Okay, it's just like the Mona Lisa. You burn the Mona Lisa, that's it. There's no second Mona Lisa already. Okay, you can.
But it will turn to more expensive. The price will be more expensive.
So the asset class is different.
Fair enough.
Just now you talk about Grab, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Grab is replaceable. That's my point. As big as it is right now, right? Grab is absolutely replaceable because you know why? Because it doesn't take a genius to spend money to burn more money. You get what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's going to ruffle a lot of people, but to me, my opinion is it doesn't take a genius to take money and burn more money. Like if today you give me $10 and I manage to spend $20, right? It doesn't take a genius. You give me 100 million, I spend a 200 million. It doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take a genius to spend 200 million on a 1 million investment. It doesn't take a genius, right? So, and that's the. But in terms of growth, so you see all this incentive, all this whatever promo and things like that, right? But here's the thing: Grab is in a market where its customer base has zero loyalty. So in its current operating model, the only reason why it is being able to dominate the market is simply because it has a bigger war chest than any other competitor at the moment. But again, it doesn't take a genius to take money and spend more money, right? So yes. they just pray hard that there isn't another consortium of wealthy people or funds come together, create a bigger financial war chest than what Grab has, and build a separate thing. Because technology is easily replicable. The technology is easily replicable, so the technology isn't a problem, okay? The supporters, the backbone asset of Grab, which is not owned by Grab, for example, your riders, your drivers, and all these people, right, can easily jump ship as long as you give them better treatment, better rewards, better commission. That's it. They will not have loyalty to Grab. No private hire driver or no rider will tell you that they swear their life by Grab. Any app that comes along that gives them a better incentive, better commission for less trips, right? They're going to bail. They're going to jump.
Yes, I think this is a human nature. Okay, it's a consumer behavior. So I think it's no fault of anyone. It's just part and parcel of human. Okay?
It's no fault. But my point is, putting money into a business like Grab and expecting that it will turn a profit is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It cannot turn a profit. There's no chance on earth it will turn a profit because the moment it tries to raise certain prices, either by cutting incentive or either charging consumers more, right? There is easily another competitor waiting behind, right, to pump in more money to snatch. There is no loyalty there. There isn't, right? So there's no chance on earth Grab will be profitable. Now, so if we are on the assumption that Grab won't be profitable in the foreseeable future, right? Then that leaves only one single reason why investments are still going in. And that is because everybody is playing the greatest fool theory. I'm not saying that, I mean, it's not a moral judgment or what. It's the reality of business, it's reality of capitalism. But let's not kid ourselves in thinking that a business model like Grab will ever make money. It won't. Everyone in it right now is in it only to pass it to the next greater fool so that they can take profit. That's it.
Well,
that's all there is.
Well, I'm not going to correct you on that because
that's the only game. It is a good game for people who know how to play it. Of course, it's a very lucrative game. But let's not kid ourselves in thinking that Grab is doing anything noble. I mean, their PR is trying to do a lot of propaganda about it making a difference with lives and things like that. No, Gojek can do the same thing. Uber can also do the same thing.
Anyway, Uber own almost 30% of Grab, 27%. I don't know how what's the latest shareholding. So when during those times, everybody cheer, celebrate that finally Uber was beaten out of the Asian market. I was laughing at it. Have you checked the status of? Have you checked the Uber status of all this TT2T? Okay, and Grab first. Okay, before you make the statement, TT2T, Uber own a portion of TT2T, and Uber own 27% of Grab. So it made a lot of sense to Uber. Hey, I don't want to compete with you lah. You make your money, I earn my 27%. Okay, good enough. Why not? I mean, I go back to America. I go and open up other market. I go and compete with the local. And even the local want to take over me, can no problem. I buy a portion of your share. You make your money. I still be the bigger boy. I don't mind earn the share. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to compete with you. I still earn the money because I'm a shareholder.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, if you're talking about the capitalistic game, there's actually a lot of ways to earn money without laying a finger on the business you can always just be. I mean, that's obviously another topic, a deeper one, but it is something worth thinking about, because especially for a lot of business owners, business operators like you and me, right? We are still at a stage where a lot of our active presence is required. So it's something to think about that, we look at all these examples, we probably need to also think about how we should structure our business such that it requires less and less of our active presence. Then we can just passively collect the rewards of our operations.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been telling my team, right, that I'm going to start doing MIA sessions very soon. I'm going to just suddenly disappear. Like, okay, you guys follow the process, follow the SOP, follow the system. Go get it done.
Yeah. So, okay, I think this week hot topic is on this execution of the drug trafficker. So I won't talk about this okay over here. This week I want to talk about business per se. Yeah. Okay.
I don't necessarily think it is a big topic personally, but anyway, it has nothing to do with business. So it's not.
You can look upon from this business angle whereby Richard Branson make a statement. So end of the day, the Singapore government have to actually come out to actually put a stand. Okay, I think so that's probably the thing that talk about. Well, what's going on in this week happening. But I think this week is also a great happening whereby yes, 75% able to go back to the workplace.
But 100%, it's not 100%, right?
100%, I also forgot.
100.
Okay, 100. Okay, sorry.
Now it's 100%.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Yeah, in fact, we had to start this live stream late because I just came back from a networking session in town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I so miss networking session nowadays.
And yeah, I mean, there's no distancing, and there's no. I suppose there's no.
No social distancing.
Yeah, there's no social distancing anymore. Yeah. Honestly, I would say I don't particularly miss the crowd.
Okay.
And seeing places starting to have more crowd reminds me of why I left Singapore for a while before COVID, because I just couldn't stand so many people squeezing in one place.
Well, if you don't like the crowd, right, you should actually try Tokyo and probably Shanghai during a peak hour. It will be actually worse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not eager. I'm not eager to go to those two places that you mentioned, you know.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah, I think after going to some tier 2 cities in China and going to some other places in Southeast Asia, right? I come to appreciate that there is calmness and there is tranquility in the availability of space. Yeah.
I think when it comes to certain stage of life, certain stage of certain age, certain stage of life, okay, whichever comes first, I think we start to appreciate tranquility very, very much. Yeah. I think we still need to find some peace with our own self. I mean, as in peace, as in the quietness, all this zen thing. Yeah, we are not so much into crowd. I mean, of course, in younger days, we still pretty much into trying to go to places whereby everybody rushes. Okay, I still remember in those young days whereby Orchard Road, every New Year Eve, the whole entire stretch of Orchard Road, right, okay, was cornered off and have a massive dance ground in Orchard Road. Okay, so
it looks like, I mean, at the rate that we are going, it looks like Christmas and New Year celebrations at the end of this year probably got chance coming back. I mean, I think F1 is already coming back this year, so
yeah, F1's coming back.
So that will probably be a prelude to, you know, if things are stabilized and everything seems to go well without further sudden outbreaks or spikes, right? I think we are potentially going to see the return of those live celebrations for Christmas and New Year in town this year.
Well, let's hope so, because things are not settled in China.
But I'm not a fan of those things. I'm never bothered to participate. But I can just imagine how jam-packed it will be this year if it's going to happen, simply because everybody is going to take vengeance on missing out on it for the last 2 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is kind of expected. That's the reason why I was sharing with many business owners in the F&B, in the tourism side, and probably retail side as well. Yeah, include some retail people as well. So we are expecting more visitors in. Okay, since a lot of things that have opened up. Okay, definitely I think we're going to expect more foreign visitors. F1's definitely in September, first wave of ticket already sold out. So definitely there'll be people coming in. If I'm not wrong, somebody mentioned Zhou Jierun. Okay, JHL concert is on end of the year or beginning of next year, so I can't remember.
JJ. Is it JJ? I don't know.
Not JJ. JHL. Okay, so that's why I think there are people coming. So I think hopefully over the next 6 months, things are slowly up to pre-COVID. Okay, so I do see hope that some of small businesses, whether in retail, F&B, tourism, events, okay, are starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. Especially event, you need to plan way ahead for events. Okay, at least 6 months.
Event is actually picking up already.
Yep,
And picking up very fast, quite a few venues have been fully booked for long stretches. Because recently, I'm also involved in organizing an event for a client. And yeah, it's pretty hard to get a decent ballroom space at this moment. Yeah.
And of course, people are rushing to get married. Okay, after the last 2 years, okay, controlled wedding reception. So I think some of them are probably happy that okay, they're getting probably some ballroom reception. Okay, they can actually get more people. Especially this year 2022, you will probably see a lot of double numbers. All the good 节日.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the first indicator is probably next week, Hari Raya, because this year obviously there are some booths, Pasar Malam, a lot already. So probably the first indicator of how things are, whether people are going crazy or still. I think next Tuesday will be a good indicator. I'll see how this weekend Labor, this very long weekend, Labor Day plus Hari Raya. So I think this weekend will be an indicator of where things are, how people.
Correct. It's a long weekend, so I think people are making plans. For me, I think I'm involved in a course. Okay, I'm going for this CPR AED course this Saturday to renew my 2 years license because last 2 years okay, because of COVID, I can't volunteer to do anything. So it just expire naturally because I can't do anything. Correct?
Yeah,
that's why
you can't do virtual CPR.
Yeah, we can't do anything. So is this the first time this thing expire naturally without doing anything?
Right.
Yeah. So I think across all the different CC, they are organizing this CPR AED for expired licensee holder or like what we call it, licensee holder or something. Anyway, so I'm taking up the course to the recertification course this Saturday morning. Yeah, but it's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So from a business angle, I think if I talk about this business, I think it's good that some of our staff encourage them to pick up this thing. Okay, touch wood. Because 100% attendance going to office, wearing a mask, okay, in office, it's definitely not a comfortable thing.
But in workplace where you are, I mean, from what I heard, if you're in a workplace where you're not consumer facing or customer facing, you can take off.
You can take off. Yes, correct. Yeah.
No, but I think for a tech business like mine, we really have gotten to a point where we see absolutely no meaning in going back to office. I mean, that's the honest truth. I can understand that, of course, for a lot of businesses, human interaction, physical interaction is required for proper business operations. But at least for us, as a tech business, I think we hardly went into office before COVID to begin with, right? And of course, a large pool of our people are not in Singapore anyway. So it was there was never a time where we are physically all together, all right? So I think in that sense, we kind of always felt that our business is a remotely operating business by default, and COVID just sort of put a final nail in the coffin that actually our business runs without the need of an office. In fact, even throughout COVID, of course, with the physical restrictions, digital marketing becomes more important for a lot of our clients, and we grew more. In fact, during these two years, all without having to actually go back to office. So it has come to a point where we are firmly in the camp of people that believes office is a thing of the past. For us, our office is wherever we sit down to work.
yeah, it brought me back to almost 15, 20 years ago. We had this term called digital nomads. So in fact,
Yeah.
I do subscribe to the notion of digital nomad. You work anywhere,
Yep.
anywhere as long as have an internet connection. I subscribe to that.
Yeah. I am very pro digital nomad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a few years back, I do spend some time trying out that whole digital norm. In fact, I mean, of course, now is a very different story. There was a point in time where, there's this movie starring George Clooney called Up in the Air.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And he basically spends 365 days in an airport, right? Because he's always flying to different states, different places, doing his, corporate restructure things, right? So he's always in the air, right?
It's a dream lifestyle to me.
Yes, that was my dream lifestyle.
The dream lifestyle.
That's my dream lifestyle.
Hotel, airport,
exactly,
airport.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you turn back the clock 20 years, that's exactly the lifestyle I want.
Yeah, hotel, airport.
Exactly.
Then just take your own sweet time and explore the city before you go for a business trip.
Exactly. In fact,
before you actually go for a business conference, then you enjoy before you fly back.
Exactly. I mean, in fact, one of my biggest fantasy is I wish that I'm always traveling and I'm waking up in a different hotel every day. That was my biggest fantasy.
I think that's something that I think a lot of us have dreamt of.
Yeah. No, I am eagerly, intensely still trying to make that happen. with that whole retirement planning thing.
Yeah. I understand the hard retirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good to actually look at such a goal, okay, life goals, okay, so that at least we make some sense of our own life. I just saw a quote somebody sent, say, okay, it's pathetic that we born to pay bills and die without enjoying life.
Yes, I subscribe to that notion, and one of the reasons why I have been increasingly vocal and sharing with whoever, right, even sometimes strangers, right, about my desire or my hard retirement goal, right, is I just don't see any point in continuing to work for the next 20 years. And then by the time when I hit 65, right, there's no more energy in me left, right, to enjoy the beauty of this world or whatever, things that I have not explored or experienced in this world. Even if I have the money then, even if I have the time then, health could be a problem. Logistics could be a problem. Again, so the way I look at it is, and then by 65, you probably don't have that zest to want to move about anymore. And that's what I'm concerned with, and there could be illness, there could be health problems and things like that. So that's what I'm concerned with. So I really don't want to, go into the twilight of my years, right? Having this regret that, there are certain things that I would have wanted, but I couldn't. And that's actually the biggest motivation for me to actually keep, drumming into myself or, sharing publicly so that, hopefully people will hold me accountable for what I say, that, I really want to just get out of this entire rat race by 45. And then hopefully 20 good years of just living it.
Yeah, same here. 20 good years of living it.
Yeah.
Then and contribute. For me, it's contribute back and leave a legacy. Yeah. Which
Are you
which
feeling that way?
which I always share. I mean, long time back, I share with some of my friends that, okay, please don't cry at my funeral. I rather you sing karaoke, okay, and celebrate my at my funeral. Okay, I don't want to see anybody cry. Okay, but the cry, if you want to cry, cry of joy that, hey, Stephen have led a meaningful life. It's not for himself, but also for other people. Okay, they impact people's life. It's sad that he have gone to somewhere. Okay, okay, not able to contribute anymore. Yeah.
You know, on and off, I also thought about euthanasia.
Singapore illegal.
I know lah. I know lah. Of course, it's not. I mean, of course, you can't do it here lah. But I always felt that. I mean, not say always, but on and off, I do feel that if given the choice, given the means, given the financial ability, right, I probably will consider that route if I'm at a stage where, you know, I have certain illness or I'm just old to the point where I don't see any joy in living anymore. I probably will consider euthanasia.
It's called irrecoverable. What is the term? Irrecoverable state of health, something like that. Yeah. Irrecoverable.
Having said that, right? Okay, having said that, right? No, but okay, if you really have a serious health condition, that's a separate issue. But I think where I'm coming from is, right, isn't depression or isn't absence of joys, that means your psychological state of mind, isn't it a health problem also? And if you reach the point where, right, you cannot be happy anymore, where you wake up every day, right, with dread, right? Medically, you're not dead, but you are no different from a zombie. I think, of course, again, a lot of moral and ethical debate about it, but my point is, if you're spiritually gone, then there's probably no meaning in keeping your carcass alive. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, I understand where I'm coming from. Okay, and that's the reason why in Japan there is this forest that you can go, you walk in and disappear. Walk in and disappear. So and
I know, but then you go. Okay, that one I have a bit of issue. You go inside there, right? Let's say you gonna, attacked by a bear. What if the bear don't kill you off outright? You are then, losing a leg and limb, and then but you're still alive. That's very, very bad.
Okay, fair. Okay.
My point is, if I decide that I want to go, I want it to be injection. Okay, that's it. 2 hours later, I sleep and I don't wake up. I don't want to be chomped off by a bear or a shark.
A peaceful death.
Because the bear might not be able to literally, damage you. Then what?
Yeah. What I mean is, I think most of us would love to have a peaceful pass on. Okay. But sometimes it can come very unexpectedly, because what happens is, I think recent case, last week, in fact, last week, one of the Japanese chef of a local restaurant in Novena passed on at age 40. Okay, so I mean, it was on the news, so I actually gave a comment. I actually wrote a Facebook post comment, condolence to the family. Okay, I think all of us, okay, will never know when exactly we will go. So as much as possible, try to make full use of our every 24 hours. Okay, and whether benefit for ourselves, benefit for others, I think it's individual. But at the end of the day, every 24 hours, okay, we try to actually create something, okay, for ourselves, in case the next 24 hours we don't have a chance to wake up. Sound depressing. Of course, it's not meant to be that way. But I think I look from a positive angle is that if we were to live our life every 24 hours, just like a particular insect, and also morning glory. Morning glory, okay, they boom in the morning. That's why you call morning glory. Okay, okay, boom in the morning. Next day, you don't see them anymore. Okay. So there's if I'm not wrong, there's one damsel fly, okay, also live 24 hours only. So after they fulfill their life mission and that's it, they are gone, they are gone. So I think it's important for us to actually maintain a certain positive outlook and do something productive on a day-to-day basis. Okay, and I always share with some people. Okay, I won't mention name. Okay, they are very negative and always like to complain a lot of things. Now, complaining can be good and bad. Okay, it doesn't need to be the negative side, because just like the Hong Kong actor Ben, okay, whose daughter is running a cafe in Orchard Road. Because he was making a statement that Singaporean like to complain, like, okay, we are too pampered, like, okay, by the government, like, end of the day, a lot of complaint, like. Well, I do agree with that. Okay, however, I look from two angles. Okay, the positive angle and the negative angles. Of course, negative angles that everybody can relate. Okay, complain. Everybody like most Singaporeans like complain. But look from a positive angle. If we're able to use the complaint, reframe ourselves as feedback, okay, feedback, don't think that is an opportunity for improvement. Yeah. Because first of all, it is the way the complaint being delivered. Okay, while we can say that if you deliver in a constructive manner, it's not constructive criticism. Okay, and we make able to use it as a positive feedback, so to improve ourselves, our business, or whatever they're being complained about. Okay, so this is something that I also urge. Sometimes feedback, right, can help us to do some reflection and ask ourselves whether do we agree with this point that people observe. Okay, because sometimes we may exhibit a certain behavior in front of other people, but exhibit another behavior in front of another person. So this particular is really up to an individual whether we use that complaint or we reframe ourselves as feedback for improvement purpose. Yeah.
I totally disagree.
Sure, no problem. We agree to disagree. Right? I mean, I don't think that I'm always right. Right? Okay, then in that case, I'm super egoistic, super self-righteousness already.
I totally disagree.
Okay, sure.
On a few points. First, I do not think, or rather, I think there's a big difference between feedback and complaint.
Okay, sure.
Sometimes a complaint is just a complaint. There's no feedback quality to it, right?
Okay.
Just like what Bruce Wayne's butler said in the Dark Knight, right? Some people just like to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Right? So there are some people who just complain for the sake of complaint.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who do that. Unfortunately, some people close to me, people who I know for a long while, it's just a quirk or a habit of them to just complain for the sake of complaint. Right? There's nothing constructive about it. It's just really complaint, right? So I don't see any. So we need to be very clear. We need to have a clear definition that some things complaint does not equal feedback.
Well, not every complaint is a feedback. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
Just like not all sound is music, some is just noise.
Yeah, sound and noise.
Yeah. So, and then from a business operation angle, I think it is also very important for business owners to be very clear about how to distinguish what is music and what is noise.
Yes, correct.
And the unfortunate part about the society right now is it could be work, it could be cancel culture, it could be all sorts of things, or it could be just that, you know, all along humans are a complaining lot, and previously we don't have the tools to express our ugliness that freely, and now we do. So you tend to see more and more complaints, you tend to see more and more ridiculous antics, you know, being displayed, being presented in front of our eyes, right? I think for businesses, especially businesses, consumer-facing businesses, I think it's very important for business operators to be able to distinguish what is complaint and what is feedback. And unfortunately, again, because of the world that we live in right now, because of the society that we live in right now, a majority of the sound that they hear are garbage and noise. Yeah. Pandering to those noise is just a bloody waste of time.
Yeah, sometimes it's really a waste of time. You don't need to be too bothered about it.
Yeah. So I also don't really, but okay, on that point about Singaporeans complain, yeah, Singaporeans do complain a lot, but I don't think we complain particularly more than people, or I mean, we don't particularly complain more than people from other countries. You know?
Yeah, I
think
I also feel that as well.
Yeah, I think it's less of a nationality thing. It's more of an indication of the level of Karenness in you as a person. You know, if you are more Karen, you're more likely to complain. And if you're full-blown Karen, then a lot of your complaints are just really complain for the sake of complaining. You know, with a way too huge dose of self-entitlement.
Well, I always brush it aside that these people need to vent out some steam OK 就让他们讲他们该讲东西that's the reason why I say okay, it's really at the end of the day how we as individual and as business have response to such complaints. Okay, and I fully agree that not every complaint need to act upon, because some are just nonsense. Okay, just nonsense, and we need to be discerning enough, okay, to identify we are the really real one to act upon. Else, we don't need to entertain everyone. Seriously. We don't entertain anyone. Else, it's very tiring to entertain everyone. Okay, if every dog along this street bark at me, I have to entertain each dog. Very tired. I won't be able to go all the way to the end of the street. Very tired.
True. Yeah.
So I think this is something that I think, yeah, just part and parcel of life. I mean, everybody have different expectation. So if you don't like this thing, okay, don't. Because sometimes, like, I actually can share with you one example. There is this office auntie may not be so highly educated. The way she talk, right, sound very curt. Okay, it's quite hurting. Okay, hey, you never eat my tea break, right? Okay, I need to throw away one. Like macam blame me for not eating the tea break. Okay, but it's out of good intention that she just say that, okay, I just don't want you to waste the food that I bought for tea break. Okay, it's not good to waste money, not good to waste food, right? Okay, so appreciate that you can eat. Okay, so some people may, if you don't know her long enough, right, you feel that, hey, wow, you almost like gonna offended by her way of talking, you see. But look, this is how she behaved. Okay, given the background she came from, so just be forgiving her. So don't need to be so, so particular over everything. I do see people always walking on tightrope. Wow, make life so miserable.
I think everybody should just take a chill pill.
Precisely, just chill, stay cool. Some people just don't mean it. Just unfortunately, this is how they express themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay lah. That means this is something that some of our customer, okay, probably also deliver in a different manner that at the end of the day we may feel offended if we are not careful about it. So we need to suspend our emotion, hopefully at the right time, and hopefully okay to the right person. Okay, yeah. If you know, there was one incident recently with this young man, 17 years old young man. Okay, I think something was disturbing. Okay, when this hawker man, okay, serve him.
Which coffee shop is actually quite near my
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay, I was.
Oh, I mean, it's actually near to where my parents were staying. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
so,
I remember. Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't know who right, who wrong, because first of all, social media, we need to be very, very discerning as well. Nowadays, sometimes the way the journalists, while they try
okay,
to
but again,
impartial,
you know me,
they will tweak your emotion.
You know me, I'm a very blunt person, and I don't give a rat's ass about offending people.
Yeah, true.
I give you my 2 cents on that little incident since you bring it up. Okay. First of all, uncle should not use the ladder to knock the kid.
Precisely,
okay?
Precisely.
Because that's a criminal offense.
That's a physical assault.
Yes, that's a physical assault. You can be charged. Okay. Even if the victim, right, the boy, right, or the family don't press charges, even if they don't do it, the fact that it is being done in public and setting, right, means that the law, the state, can prosecute.
Yeah, the public prosecutor can press charges.
Yeah. So that is a no. That mistake cannot happen. I mean, that one he for sure wrong. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah, you can't defend against that.
You want to,
no matter how angry, how
angry,
right you are, right? Okay,
yeah.
You also cannot do that.
Yeah, you how angry, right? You shout vulgarities at the loudest voice. It's okay, but the moment you take something and assault people, like there's no way you can get a correctness out of it. That's number one. Second thing, this kind of kid should send to boys' home. Yeah.
We have not established who's right, who's wrong yet. I don't know what sort of things that he have done. So I will not be a judge.
To me, is I don't. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. To me, is you play song. You can say it. You verbalize it, right? You can shout. You can say vulgarity. Okay, fine. It's just verbal. You know, saliva never kill anybody. Saliva will never injure or burn anybody. Okay? Saliva is not a weapon of destruction. So
unless COVID. Okay, remember that the two auntie spit at the fast food counter.
Okay, fine. But my point is in any normal setting, right? Shouting vulgarities, saying all the nasty things verbally, right? Okay, asking about your entire family tree and your entire 18th generation, right? It's fine. Non-chargeable, not an offense. But the moment you throw something, right? So the boy throws something, that the store can charge him.
Yep.
Damage of property. It is a crime. It is an offense, or rather, it is something that can be prosecuted. It's something that people can press charges. So it's stupid. The uncle also even more stupid. Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the day, I think this thing about anger management, have been talked about recently.
But you can shout at people. My point is, you really cannot take it, right? You can shout. I mean,
almost
sad
like
to say,
almost like the hawker owner who shout at the couple who sit at the table in front of his store,
yeah,
and
but
that
it's
he reserved for his operation.
but you see, that one is just a commotion, just an unfortunate incident. No police is involved, what? Because there isn't a need, what? You get what I'm trying to say, So also be smart about it. I think at the end of the day, I think what I'm trying to say is, right, people need to be smart about it. There are ways that you can express yourself angrily and get away with it. And there are ways where the moment you do it, you are going to land yourself in trouble. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I agree. However, I mean, like at the end of the day, when I was having another conversation on such topic, because not just these few uncles, I think there's another one I invite that talking about this uncle of fighting, I think yesterday morning or something, or this afternoon. Okay, avoid that. But I mean, besides these few cases, we also seen this BMW, this Merc trying to get their way, and they hit the security officer.
That's just pure stupid. That's just pure stupid.
So there's a lot of anger, self-management. Unfortunately, some of us may need to actually manage that, because it's not easy. Okay, I know this can be very frustrating. Queuing in a car queue, and you're probably rushing something, but there's no reason you should that you should actually cause physical harm to anyone. No reason. Okay.
I mean, it is dumbass. It is dumbass. Yeah, it is really dumbass.
Yeah. So this thing that I think I don't know, because of COVID or whatever, it seems that almost everyone is having very short-tempered nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of shortened, tightened fuse. Suddenly you see parang you see samurai sword, you see all sort of nonsense
Well, if you tabulate the weapon incident, there are 4 of them within a 1 month period.
Yeah, is it 4? Samurai sword, the Bugis Parang one. I only remember these 2.
Okay, samurai sword. Okay, I think there is another one in Bukit Batok. That's the second one.
Yeah, okay.
Then the third one was I forgot about it. But the fourth one is the one that actually at the beach road there, whereby the poor ladies.
Okay, Liangxia Street.
Liangxia Street, Liangxia Street. Okay, the one is horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes, in business, we also need to actually, especially in business, when pace are fast, and some customer may not be happy over the queue. Sometimes we need to also, as a business owner, we need to watch out for potential outbursts of our emotion.
But again, this part to me is if I'm a business owner, I would not ban for people who queue. Very simple. Because everyone who joins a queue, joins a queue voluntarily. There's no human, there's no consumer who tell you that, oh, I don't know there's a queue. I don't know why I joined a queue. That's BS. Everyone who joins a queue knowing that there's a queue. So the moment you join a queue knowing that there's a queue, you have no defense. You have no defense or argument saying that why so long. You bloody saw a queue and you decided to join. If you are worried about it being so, you can go to some other shop with no queue.
Yeah.
That's so defense.
So it brings me to about the Omega watch and SWOT queue. Okay. The Omega watch.
I look at that. I look at that incident as it's just an indicator of how many dumbass and stupid people are there in Singapore. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, queuing up for hours for a non-exclusive, non-limited edition product, right? I mean, either 你脑筋烧坏，要不然你就是笨到 笨到一种境界哦，like you know what to do. You're just trying to show off your stupidity to the world. What else can we say, right? You know, to me that's the ultimate of stupidity lah. If it's just that 100 limited set for Singapore and that's it, okay, understandable. It's not a limited production. It's not a limited production. 那你们这就是嫌命长活太久的白痴哦。These people are I don't have easy words for them. For me, I will reserve the strongest words for these people because these people don't deserve any form of sympathy and understanding. Like you guys are just dumbass, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever that is worse than dumbass. You are that kind of creature.
So,
I mean, it is a direct betrayal of your intelligence. What can I say? Right? You either don't understand market forces, or you don't understand, you know, production concept, or you're just someone who believes in, you know, wasting your life away on frivolous things.
That's why I cannot understand why people go and queue up for Hello Kitty for the longest queue for the longest time. End of the day.
No, okay, Hello Kitty, I can understand. That one was limited. That one was limited.
Yes, it was limited.
I don't like it. I won't do it, but I understand.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay. Anyway, to me, it's not worth queuing for that.
You know, people like you and me, we won't do it ourselves, right? But I'm just saying that objectively in the context of if there's something is limited, if there's something is time expired or time sensitive thing, I can understand. Okay, like for example, right? Like many years back, Aerosmith came to Singapore for a concert, right? Okay. And you know that Aerosmith is an aging group, right? You don't know how many years they have left, honestly, right? So if you're concerned that, you know, you might never get to see them live again, yeah, I can understand queuing up to buy their tickets, you know, because you might never get it again in this lifetime. So there are situations where it is perfectly understandable, it's perfectly all right to, you know, because you value that experience, you value that something more than, you know, that couple of hours and you're willing to trade those hours for it. I can perfectly understand that kind of situation. What I'm saying is, right, queuing for a non-limited produced asset, right, is the dumbest thing a human can do. Just like queuing for food. If there's a long queue, go to another store. It's not as if this store, you know, is closing down today. You can always come back and eat tomorrow. Right? There's no need to queue. That's my whole point. Go to another store. Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. The Omega watching is not limited edition. Queue for what? Like, you know, really queue for what? 为了上电视。
有人上电视 ，OK，
for all the wrong reasons.
For all the precisely for all the wrong reasons. So there's no need to be so angry over. I mean, for that guy who actually shot, hey, come and shoot me using your gun. No need lah. There's no need to actually do that.
Wrong challenge. Wrong challenge. Challenge a police officer. No, seriously, don't understand these people. Because I think they coop up in their house for too long, too boring. They want to go in to stay at a new environment.
Oh, Changi hostel. Changi chalet, sorry. Changi chalet.
Yeah.
Changi chalet.
I've been.
Food and lodging provided. Plus extra security protection and what? Plus digital detox program provided.
No, I think they do have computer rooms, I think.
No, they have computer. Okay, but the thing is that okay, and it brought me to this thing where I actually was when the Singapore Business Service came to me to actually share, or rather, we want to actually do some digital training for the going to be released ex convicts.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is that they also share with me there's one issue whereby they may not able to actually run a full-fledged internet program, okay, or any program that able to connect to integrate the internet itself. So I thought, okay, no problem. I can also understand the constraint. So that's why I'm not. I don't blame them for not able to do that. So coming back, that's where the digital detox. Okay, you don't have free access. really, digital detox.
So have you been to Changi Chalet?
For 2 times for training. Yeah,
Okay.
I trained the spear team. One for the spear team and one for the non-spear team. Yeah, still prison officers. I train prison officers, but there are one is the spear team where wow, it's a long journey into the HQ.
Yeah.
It's impossible to walk there.
I went there for a very brief visit as part of a private yellow ribbon project tour. Okay, with one of the sponsoring business. So I was part of the tour. Then they show us. So I got to see the tower where they do the execution. Yeah, it's actually the first thing you see when you come in the main gate.
Yeah, you won't miss it.
Yeah, you won't miss
so
it.
sorry, you won't miss it.
Yeah, you won't miss it. Yeah, it's as if they purposely put it there as a statement piece. That's yeah.
It's a show it's a show of the terrain.
Yeah, but when I went inside and I saw the kind of compartmentalization that they have, all the various lock gates, right? Yeah, you really don't want to get yourself, a stay in that place. It's just too depressing. Yeah. Yeah, it's just too overbearing and depressing. Yeah. That's not a good place. That's not a good place to be. You really want to get away from it as far as possible.
Well, on that one is on isolation, but the worst is my last 3 days I was training some seniors on digital marketing, very, very basic level. Very, very basic level. Okay. So one of them happened to be a customer service officer. Okay. For a step board. So I won't mention which step boards as well. So apparently, the whole entire Singapore complaint was channeled to this particular area. And she's one of those staff that handle the complaints, since we're on this topic about complaints. Okay, so she's quite a jovial lady. However, she said, okay, the last few years when she joined this place, okay, because the complaints are all channeled to her department, and her colleagues and her handle the entire Singapore, okay, split between different zones. She'll feel that almost every day, for 8 hours a day, for 5 days a week, you're being bombarded by Singaporean complaints. Okay, maybe some dog bark, right? Okay, so the doctor cannot study properly. Okay, having exam. So direct this thing to the government to solve, to ask the neighbor to stop the dog barking.
Okay, you know what? I think our government is not draconian enough.
Wow. Personally, the person complain 很有空哦。
if I'm the government, right, I would tell all these idiots that complain about dogs, right, to shut the F up. Like, hey, as if your daughter, right, later play loud music. Isn't it the same?
Right. And interestingly, this also brought me to it also brought me to another example. In China, there is this mother and daughter, okay, living just 2 meters away from a basketball court. So, and this obviously basketball court where people play basketball at a particular, especially during evening time, whereby some of us off work, we go and play, right? Okay, and if I'm not wrong, the daughter was going through some Gaokao, okay, or some major exam, something like that. So they were quite frustrated over this thing, and the boys or the men who are playing the basketball already told them, okay, after a certain time, they promise not to play anymore. Understand that the daughter is going through her exam, so they are also considerate, okay, cut short their playing hours during this period of time. They already volunteered. They already tell the mother, hey, look, I'm going to actually stop playing. I think the mother and the daughter, okay, went haywire. They went to the basketball court, could tear all the synthetic rubber from the floor, okay, and make the whole entire basketball court, right? Damage the whole entire basketball court, rather. So it caused quite a sensation, in China, or those Weibo and whatever, all this scene now, right? Okay, we'll talk about them, right? Okay, so I think it's something I think reflecting on just now the dog issue. Sometimes I think it's some of this thing is I think it's a little overboard. I'll say, you know what I mean? Overboard.
Too much Karenness in their body. Too much Karenness.
I think. Look,
by the way, let's not talk about the sensation part. First thing first, you go and slash whatever basketball court thing, right? First thing is you should be prosecuted for damage to public property.
Precisely. That's what I was thinking.
What? And then your daughter 读了这样多书了，不懂啊？ then 这个书是白读的 ，like 死读书了 ，like to me this is like. Then on what earth you bother with higher education? You don't even know the foundational principle, the basic principle of preserving public property. Then
not just that. I think at the end of the day, look, people are already accommodative to you. Okay, I think some more is evening time, dinner time. I mean, you want to study, doing things. I mean, I'm not there to judge her, but the thing is that, okay, come on, I think that is the noisiest period of the day as well. When people coming back from work, there are cars moving, there are people shouting, there are people, children, the mother asking the children to go back home to eat after the play. I think you still deserve a break, right? Okay, on study. You don't need to actually study all into dinner time, right? I mean, this is something that's my own personal thought.
So I'm a strong proponent of my strong opinion is that you are the master of your own domain. You are in control of your own environment, right? You live in the human species is a communal species. So unless you live in a no man's land, you are going to interact, or there will be human interactions around you, and whether you like it or not, you just have to live with it. That's human society, right? So the only thing you can do about it is you control how you're going to respond, right? Too noisy, close your bloody door. Still noisy, put some more, put on your earphone, or or soundproof your room. There are things you can do within your own initiative, instead of trying to encroach on other people's freedom, or try to be a nasty Karen. I just think it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So
I can't be bothered with this kind of people.
So therefore, I talk about 死读书, right? Okay, it's also brought me to actually on one of my Facebook comment. I think recently, because of all the cheating case, the 11 lawyer cheating, Chinese lawyer cheating case.
We talked about that last week already.
Last week, but this is a follow up. It's a follow on. Okay. For what happened was there are people that was asking about the stringency and how can they conduct or secure a virtual examination. Okay, how can they actually provide more security to a virtual examination and to prevent such thing? Then I actually give 2 pointers. on the Facebook post of NUS. Look, at the end of the day, okay, we need to first of all change our mindset. Okay, in a virtual environment, you can do whatever you like. Okay, I mean whatever the exam admin want to impose. But end of the day, okay, 什么道高一尺，魔高一丈。Okay, there's always things that you can do okay, to actually circumvent this thing. I can share, in fact, I share an example. I can paste behind my webcam, I can paste a whiteboard. And if you want to check my room, I turn the whole entire laptop, right? Okay, you can see my whole room. But can you see my whiteboard that I actually attached behind my laptop? Can't, right? So I can write whatever I write. So how unless you tell me I need to buy a secondary camera to actually view my room, or 360 degrees camera to actually view my room. Else, it's almost impossible. But the most important thing is about changing the mindset of the exam structure. Okay, if you're talking about university, we're talking about more on application of knowledge. So I do believe in application of knowledge more than reciting head knowledge. Okay, so if you're able to learn the principle, the concept well enough, you should reach the highest order of learning, which is application of knowledge. The highest order, right? It's not about remembering all this thing.
But not necessarily true in this particular case when it comes to the legal profession.
Yes, of course, it doesn't apply for all, but it will be good. Yeah, I would say it will be good that we may want to actually tweak the exam questionnaire to an application-based question whereby.
No, but my point is exactly that. I agree with you for other things, but specifically for the law profession, it may not be applicable because a large portion of how you prepare and defend a case, right, and how judgment. I mean, of course, I'm no lawyer. I'm just from my own shallow understanding of it. But my presumption is a lot of cases, a lot of judgment, right, applies the principle of precedence. At least that's what I remember. What my university law lecturer taught.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
So any precedent.
Yes. So it is kind of a requisite that lawyers need to know at the back of their head what are the cases that have a precedent that is relevant to the case that they are working on. And this kind of thing, because of the nature of digging out all this information, right, it's not so much of application, it's more of how clear-minded you are in being able to pull out all this information, right, from the recesses of your brain. So it's not quite.
They have open book. They have open book exam. That's my full. Okay, they have open book, and that's why they need to actually use this open book exam, right? Okay, to pull out cases. So that one I don't for them because it's open book. Okay, they need that references to fight to substantiate their application of the law. Okay, whichever they want to actually fight the case, they need to have the application of the law of that particular precedent case. They put into this current case that somebody did that, and this is the type of things that have been judged. The statement, this sentence have been passed in this manner. So I think on this case, it's almost follow the same principle. That one I understand. But what I mean is in terms of application, I think more so we should actually look into application based type of structure whereby we can try as much as possible bring out all these application based questions, and these are non-standardized questions. Okay, yes, there will be similar questions, similar answers. Okay, for example, how do you if this engineer were to actually build some water pump machine, so this particular design with this particular spec, how do you actually expect? How do you bring it? Of course, you need to bring all the formula in, apply everything. this will definitely get you some same and also similar question answers to the question. Okay, fair enough. What I mean is that we try to actually use whatever our knowledge, okay, and apply to possibly some cases. So at least it show the competency of the learner, that you not just know the definition, know the term, but you also know how to apply. Okay, and that's good enough, because at the end of the day, we only look at the competency in the real world. Yeah, I mean, you tell me you know computer science, and I know you know the principle of loop, variables. Okay, so can you do on my program? Okay, using this thing, is it going to be a loop? Is it going to be a sequential? Is it a sequence? Or what are you able to use this concept to that? Then for metrics, are you going to create a matrix of data or array of metrics to actually keep all these variables inside there, so that any point of time I can pull out, okay, to put into this thing. Okay, the concept of variable, okay, fair enough. You should understand. I don't need you to recite to me what's variable, but I need you to actually use the concept and principle to apply to write me a small program. Yeah, I think this will actually enhance the quality of the exam, and at the same time, I also think that to some level it provides some security of the exam integrity, because there's no way okay, you can have 100% perfect answer one from another. Okay, and also for those who try to do this, okay, be smart a bit lah. Okay, you don't copy wholesale Okay, if you copy wholesale, I think, look, in this world,
just like what my BMT sergeant said to us, you can do anything you want as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah. So I mean, I know of copywriter, they copy other people's articles, reference other articles. Okay, patronism. Okay, as long as not less than 30%, I think that's still considered as okay. Well, it's not original, but it's still considered okay. But don't be an idiot, right? Okay, you copy wholesale, you know what I mean?
But when you talk about plagiarism, right? Legally, there's a very defined percentage on it. I can't remember, but that is in copyright law, in plagiarism, in all the relevant laws, right?
Yeah.
There is a hard percentage for it.
If I'm not wrong, you cannot be less than 30%. If I'm not wrong, okay, I need to. I think.
I don't know. I mean, but I know that there's a hard percentage.
I think depend on what you are writing, because obviously writing a thesis, I think the percentage the percentage you cannot wholesale more than.
But thesis, no. But if you talk about writing a thesis, is a separate issue, because in a thesis, right, you also need to strike a balance by being able to cite, being able to quote citations, and citations have to be perfectly quoted.
Correct. But for plagiarism, if I'm not wrong, I can remember it's 30%. Okay, for content writing, for I think book production or something like that. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, it's a 30% thing. You cannot have less than 30%. Else it becomes almost like copywriting. I mean, I copy wholesale already. Okay, imagine that 80% of my thing I wrote is inside your articles.
Yeah.
How original are you? See, you know what I mean? So if I'm not, it's about if I'm not guessed, I remember correctly, about you cannot be less than 30%. Cannot be less than 30%.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, do smartly. Okay. Correct. So if you want to copy something, especially I know of some people writing blog articles, they do a lot of copywriting in terms of rewriting. I think in the online world there is some plagiarism checker. Someone is free up to 1,000 words, if I'm wrong. Okay, then just put inside and then see whether how much have you copied, or how much similar. I don't say copy, how much similar you are to somebody.
most of the tools, and once you use them long enough, you know that they are not accurate.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, tools
There's
always
actually,
have flaws.
if I'm not wrong, that last time when I was in NTU, there's actually another tool, right? Or rather a series of tools, right, where you put in content, right? They will search academia database, right, to see if your like what you're talking about, the content of your thesis, right? Is it highly plagiarized? Like, you copy and paste directly lifted from certain papers in the past.
Yep.
That one, that one is more stringent, I think.
Yeah, that one is actually fairly accurate because it's it's a paid service.
Yeah. That one is premium service. That one is actually quite accurate.
That one you cannot patronize other whoever that you actually writing a thesis on. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. We actually started the live stream slightly late today, right? And yet we are still again breaking our live stream session duration. I notice every session we drag it longer. Today's one is the longest of the three. We keep going on and on and on.
Okay, so, I think we need to actually time check. Okay.
Yeah, we probably need to, for future sessions, we probably need to time check, and we probably need to structure it tighter.
Don't worry. Okay, for anybody listening in, just know that with this we're trying out this thing. Okay, if you have feedback, please we feel free to actually hear some feedback. Okay.
Yeah, actually there is because I shared the live stream URL on LinkedIn, and some of my connections have seen it, and one of them, I think it's Nicholas. He did suggest that we should put timestamp in the YouTube description of our video, because our video is so long as this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, we should put timestamp.
I totally appreciate that feedback. It's just that, again, it's probably also our schedule, because after the live session is over, it's automatically converted into a video, right? It does take some effort to go back and read, watch through the whole video and timestamp it. So it's a manual work, it's a manual work. Yeah. I'm thinking of probably getting someone to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think today we are actually went past 10 o'clock. Okay, let's stop it here. Okay, then we continue next week. Next week I won't be able because I'm actually having a business dinner. Yeah, so we'll think about how to do it.
Well, if I have a topic to talk about, I'll probably do a solo. If not, I'll probably bring a friend in to do a similar chit chat, and maybe let me see if I can get a subject expert. If there is, then I'll probably do the same thing. Like today you share about all this investment thing. I'll probably get someone to share about some things about their business, or some tips they can share in any parts of business. We'll see how that goes. But if really not possible, then we'll just take a break, and then
no problem.
Rejuvenate ourselves for the next section. Yeah, so it's fine. Okay, so good.
Okay.